Recording. All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session of Tuesday's Builder's Best Practices call. And just as a reminder, the purpose of this call is for agent attraction. We do this on the first and third Tuesdays of every month, and we use this as an opportunity to help you build your skill set around recruiting and agent attraction. You get me today because Casey is out of town, and I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about the tools and resources available to you for agent attraction. However, if anybody has anything in particular that they would also like to discuss today, if you could please drop that in the chat because I will make time to discuss it. So please feel free to do that if anybody has anything specific that they want to discuss today. I'm open and all ears. Okay, so the reason I am wanting to talk about this today is because we've had a lot of folks in the organization doing a great job of bringing people to the table. However, I do find that sometimes people aren't always aware of all of the tools and resources that are available to them. And sometimes things get brought up and they get brought up into the conversation. And I find that sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect with either explaining it to the prospect or maybe you don't even know yet, right? And which is entirely possible. And sometimes I'm out there and I find stuff and it blows my mind that it's out there. Anybody ever find that like you're out there searching for something and then there's like a link and you're like, holy crap, where's that been all my life? You know, and you're like, or this happened to me yesterday and it really annoys the crap out of me. I'm going to be honest. You go to the link that you've had since the dawn of time that you've been with eXp and the link no longer works. It's just gone. Okay. And I'm like, what? Why? Where did it go? I went to expmarketing the other day.com, gone. eXp Mark goes to a 404 page now. Gone. Okay.
When
So,
you
and
switch to Canva, that's
I know
okay.
it's gone, right? And I'm like, oh, can't you just point it to wherever you want it to go to the other thing? Right. And I'm like the keeper of all the links, guys. I keep links for days. And now all of a sudden stuff is not going to where you think it goes. So I wanted to bring up a couple of different things as we're going through that to make sure that you're all aware of this and to give you access to Selena's keeper of all the links. So I'm going to share what I am currently using. You can use mine or you can create your own. And I'm going to put a link in here so that you all can gain access to this. I love Trello. And I use it to make it pretty whenever I look at it. And also because this is available via your cell phone, your iPad, or your computer. I find it to be the easiest. There's my trusty Laura. Hang on one second. She was able to log in as me. So if you see Selena on here twice, that's why. Um, so it wasn't letting her in for some reason. So I started this up about a month ago. Hang on, let me just make sure I'm letting people in to start keeping track of all of the different links. I did this for myself and Casey at first because there was just so much to keep track of, and I wanted to make it easier for Casey to get to things quickly when she was talking to someone as well. And then it really, hang on, I'm going to mute. There we go, folks, just to make sure. I see. I just saw Stacy's. I just saw Stacy's note. Lottery call today. Sorry. I did it for just the two of us initially, but then people started seeing it, and I started adding people into it. And what I'm gonna say is, if you want this, Laura, if you could go up in here to share. Actually, I'll do it right now. Let's do this. Anyone with the link, guys, I'm gonna add you as observers. There's a reason that I'm not putting you as a member. I will lose my mind if you break my Trello board. So okay, somebody did that the last time. So I'm gonna paste it into the chat here. This is gonna invite you to be an observer for this board. Okay. Now, what I encourage you to do as an observer, I'm going to show you this right now. Up here at the top of every one of these, you see these little 3 dots? If you click on them and you come down here and you click watch on the top of each one, what will happen is every time I add a link or change a link, you're going to get an email that says Selena added something. That's going to be important. because every time I add something new, you're going to want to know about it. Otherwise, this is a lot for you to pay attention to think, oh, I wonder if Selena added something. I wonder if something's changed or shifted, right? I just added stuff this morning. Inside of Teams this morning, I added, where is it? Sample team agreement. I found this while I was in here looking up self-organized team information, and I did not know that eXp had a sample team agreement in there until yesterday when I was reviewing it for somebody that I was doing some work on. Okay, so I added it, and I want you to have that kind of information, and you'll get a notification that says Selena added sample team agreement into the Teams column. Okay, I'm always in this Trello board. I am always adding tools and resources for you constantly. So, and they're broken up exactly like it says at the top, right? If you're recruiting, I send people both of these. I want you to understand the tools and resources I'm giving to you here. Russ breaks it down in a very matter of fact, very relatable kind of way. This one, very corporate. I send it both ways, especially if I'm talking to a team. Some people like it very corporate. Some people like it down and dirty. Okay, so we send it both ways. Okay, this is another one that's done. This is very this is more of a slideshow. This one we send to every recruit. If you haven't seen this, guys, this is, we call it, what does your $85 get you? Love this page. This is one of my favorite pages. Every one of these is clickable. If you haven't seen it, go and look at it yourself. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay. Get in here, take a look at it. People are always asking, how do I get leads once I get to eXp? We're like, hello, look at this entire section. It's amazing. Oh, is there training? Yes, just a few, right? Go in here and look at every single one of these things, right? Here's the US Growth and Attraction Toolkit. This was the one I didn't know existed. I could spend all day for 3 days in the Agent Attraction Toolkit. There's scripts. There's a tracker for you to keep track of recruits. There's a ton of stuff in there. You could be in there for 3 days and not finish everything that they have in that toolkit. I'm not kidding. When I found it, I was like, where has this been? Why are we not talking about it? Why does nobody know that that's there? There's videos, there's scripts, there's everything that you could possibly imagine for building and growing an organization. I didn't even know that that was there until a month ago. And I was like, Casey, did you know about this? She's like, no, I had no idea. Yes, Claire, I'm actually starting to compile Land and Ranch. I'm actually starting to compile it now. So you'll start to see one for Land and Ranch. It's just now coming out. They're just starting to pull it together. I know this because the person I'm currently onboarding for somebody in our organization is doing Land and Ranch. So stay tuned. You'll see a new column. So it just grows and grows. That's why you want to watch the columns, right? Then when you go to onboarding, right? This is actually a really good one. This joining roadmap, we help onboard. Laura here is amazing at onboarding people for me. She's going to be onboarding people this week for this other brokerage that we're talking to. But if you have somebody who says, I really want to do it myself, great. I still send them this. It is a slideshow that takes them through 1 page at a time, what it looks like to onboard with little arrows click here, do this, click this button, do this thing. Do you have a question on that? Click this button. The same things that we would be doing if we were on the video with them, because I don't want them calling me at 9:30 at night to ask me how to do it, because that's what's happened. And I'm like, did you look at the slideshow? Okay, so save yourself time and energy by using the tools that are in here. Okay, onboarding process. Do you guys know what this is? If you guys have been here for a long time, chances are you don't. This came up yesterday. Who here has seen this quick start guide checklist that goes to brand new agents? See, so excited about this moment. Okay, so this was not here when I joined either. I've been here for 3 years. So every new join gets this checklist in their email. Okay, who here has had a new join complain about the 942 emails they get from eXp when they join? Yeah, me too. Okay, I tell them, don't pay attention to any of those except for your logins. Go straight to this checklist. As a matter of fact, they get this checklist again from me. And I say, just go to this checklist. It's going to say day 1 through day 8 at the top. Now, what I want you to do is literally do everything in order that it says on here. It's going to tell you approximately how long it takes to complete each thing on the side. That way you don't panic and think it's going to take forever. Oh, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Go through each thing. Now you know approximately how long. Feels a little less overwhelming, right? It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to be here for days, right? Technically, you are going to be here for days, like 8 days, but like, but it feels like it's broken it down and you can check it off, right? I'm just going down the list, and that's what I tell them. Just go down the list. Now, we do something for those of you that don't know. Anybody who's in Casey's 7 levels, they're getting an email from me on day 1 that says, welcome. You're not only part of eXp, you're now part of Empire Builders Pro. This is who we are. In the coming days, you're going to get a call from Casey welcoming you to the organization. Please save my email and Casey's email so that you get all future communication from us, right? Once they talk to Casey, she's asking them if they're most interested in production, attraction, team building, or anything else. Then they get tagged in our system as a result of that, so that we can be very specific about making sure that we're communicating with them in the right way. Then they get another message from me that messages this checklist. At 30 days, they're getting a reminder, because this is my least favorite part about this checklist, guys. They don't get reminded until day 6 to go do their stock sign up for when they close the commission. I know, super annoying. It should be on day 1. It should be on day 1. I remind them at 30 days to sign up for the stock. You know how many people come back to me like at like 60 days and they're like, why am I not getting stock taken out of my commission? Super annoying. It's on day 6. So at 30 days, I'm reminding them, hey, did you go do that thing on day 6? Because, I mean, let's be real. Agents don't remember. Go ahead,
Selena,
Pam.
what if they didn't and then they had a closing? Can they go back and correct it, or is it done?
Nope, it's done.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And I just point them back here. If anybody ever comes back to you and says that, guys, you can just open up this checklist, because it's in that, you know, it's in my Trello board, and you can just take them right over here and tell them to go in and do it. Right? Because you can sign up at any point. I mean, I had somebody who's been with us a year, and he was like, I didn't have any stock. I looked. They're not taking it out. I'm like, well, didn't sign up for it. It's on day 6. You know, so I try to remind them, like, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? And Laura and I are working on a plan where we're just kind of checking regularly again, like, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? I hate that it's on day 6. I'm working to get that changed. I just really think it's too important not to do it. So that's something that we're just like telling them, don't get overwhelmed by the emails, just do the checklist. If you just keep working your way through the checklist, you're going to be okay, right? You don't have to do it in 8 days, do it on your own time, but just keep making your way through it and it'll be okay. So that's in here as well, right? There's onboarding help videos inside of a Google Drive, anything they could possibly need. Okay, these are some of the things I'm talking to you about. Revenue share placeholder. Okay, everybody knows it used to be called an LOI. Okay, they don't call it that anymore. It's like a RSPA, revenue share placeholder. If you have someone who wants to join, but they're not quite ready because they need to close something out, but they have people that are ready to join, you need to have them fill this revenue share placeholder addendum to the ICA out. They need to do the join app and fill this out. That's because they can still have people sign up and name them as a sponsor, guys. They will not earn revenue share until they're fully over, but they can have people join them and join and name them as a sponsor. Does that make sense for everyone here on the call? Want to make sure. Laura, can you watch the chat for me just to make sure I'm not missing anything? Okay, it's really important that they fill out that RSPA. I still call it an LOI, letter of intent. But it's very, very important that they do that. If they don't do that portion, no one can name them a sponsor. Got it? That is in here as well under onboarding. Does everyone understand cap deferment? This came up this week as well. Someone understood cap deferment, but what they didn't understand was that meant that during that year of cap deferment, they could not icon. Okay? If they ask for cap deferment in their first year, they do not qualify for icon. I want to make sure that's clear. Okay? Cannot icon during that time. They have to wait until their next calendar year because they're not paying any company dollar. Makes sense? Okay. This I get asked this a lot, so I always keep it in here. This recently got updated in April, so you'll see that this gets updated anytime we have changes. So like most recent changes that we had, what was the most recent one? Oh, co-sponsorship. So when that changed, we had a change to the ICA agreement. Anytime anything changes in the company, the ICA changes, we all had to kind of sign an addendum. I update the ICA in here. I have people ask me for an example ICA when we're recruiting all the time. So this will always be updated anytime the company changes it. And it's just a sample and it has a big watermark across the front that says sample. So if you ever need it, this is the hardest document to find anywhere. Like, I mean, I have to dig for this puppy every time it comes out. So if you need it, this is the best place to find it. It is not easy to find. Same thing on policies and procedures. So whenever I get it, I put it in here. This does come up a lot. I get a lot of recruits asking for examples of these. Okay, so they're always in here in onboarding. Teams, this is every kind of team available. This comes up a lot as well. Okay. Now, this is something I did not know. This came up for me last week. Self-organized teams, there is no requirement on how much the percentages a team leader has to take. On a standard team, it is 25%. It must average out at 25%. On a self-organized team, no standard. I don't know if you all knew that. No standard.
It isn't on the self, it's 16K on the cap, right?
It is 16K on the cap.
Yeah.
Yep, it's not a half cap. No half cap on self-organized. 16K for everybody and no requirement on the 25% rule. Okay. So I do encourage you, if you are recruiting teams, to go through and really read this. This is actually a lot of really great information. This is where I found that example of when I clicked into and you can click up here, guys, and it takes you to it. So I came in here and they had a sample team agreement in here. Right. And that was good because that team leader, she was actually a brokerage owner. So now she'll be switching to a self-organized team, was looking for a sample. And so it was nice for me to be able to give her something. So make sure that you're going in here and taking a look at these things. There's really good information in here, really good information. Okay. And then again, if you're looking to, who here has worked with the growth team on bringing in a team or a brokerage already? Claire, anybody else? Okay. And Stacy? Okay, good. Now, we have had a lot of really great experiences with working with the growth team on bringing folks in. Recently, we had a not so great experience. It was very different than some of the other experiences that we've had. So we actually just talked to them about it and we were like, hey, why was this different? And sometimes you just get different people, maybe a different way of handling things. And we were just really open and honest with them about it. We're like, this was very different than all of the other experiences that we've had. And they were like, great, how do we make it better? So that was pretty amazing. So I think just be really honest if it's not going the way that you think, right? And is anyone interested in knowing kind of what that looks like from start to finish with a brokerage or a team?
Selena, was that a state specific issue?
I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to.
Well, no, I'm not asking.
It was, yes.
Yeah, I'm just in general, like, was it? Yeah.
It was state specific.
I've had that.
Yeah, I mean, typically the way that it works, guys, is if you have a team or you have a brokerage and you get the growth team involved, you are like, when we work on a bunch of them all the time, you are submitting basically a form that is letting them know that you have somebody that you're trying to bring to the table. And you're getting information on that team, some basic information, production numbers, volume, team members, and letting them know that you're starting that process and you want to get them involved. They bring in the analyst, they're bringing in the growth team director, and a couple other people that are working on the production numbers. That initiates one initial call that's 15 minutes where they're asking for some general information about that team or brokerage. And that's usually just with you and or whoever brought them to the table, right? And then that initiates them releasing what's called a PIF, a production intake form. And it's a spreadsheet that particular team or brokerage should be filling out with all of those numbers broken down by individual agent. that usually takes the longest amount of time. I feel like I have to wrangle, like I need to like lasso somebody in. And sometimes I'm like, just send it to me. Okay, I will just do it. Just send me your like printout of whatever it is. And we're trying to get all of that information in. And what they do is they take all of that information from the last 12 months, and one of the analysts on eXp side takes it and they put it in as though they had been with eXp for the last 12 months. So they're saying what they want to do is show them exactly like if they had paid E&O, if they had done their broker review fees, and they want to be able to compare apples to apples, right? It's so great to be able to see it in that perspective, the 20%, who would have capped, who wouldn't have capped, if they would have qualified for a mega team, etc., so that they can see exactly what it would have looked like. Then you're going to, now they've done this new 2-call process, which is I'm not a fan of. It used to just be that you just jumped right into that production intake review. Now they're doing 2 calls, one where they're explaining a little bit more about eXp, and then they'll do another call where they're reviewing the numbers. The idea is that they're just getting a really good idea about what it would look like if they had been here for the last 12 months. But you're getting a lot of support from corporate in that way. So if you ever need help, guys, with any group, please reach out to me or to Casey. We do a lot of these. I'm a super nerd when it comes to a spreadsheet.
No,
Darius, did you say you need help?
I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. I apologize.
Okay, no worries. If you ever need help, please reach out. I've done a lot of them now, and I'm a super nerd when it comes to spreadsheets, and I'm really, really happy to help in any way that I can. So just never feel like you can't ask, okay? And the growth team is amazing, and they're always wanting to make sure that we're getting things through as well. Okay, let's see. Skipping through. Branch office application. Anybody ever had to go through this process? I feel like you're giving them like your second born child. It's like Rick and I did this. Actually, he gave up the branch office at one point because he felt like the application was too cumbersome. And then when we lost Rick, I had to reapply for it. And I was like, dear Lord, it was, I mean, it's worse than filing taxes. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That's really hard. But if you have somebody who is wanting a brick and mortar office to be a branch office application, they require more insurance than you can possibly ever imagine. But it is doable. So if anybody ever says that they want to open their own office, I have that application in here for them as well. So that is in there as well. Anybody who wants to form a domestic team or partnership. How about this? Has anybody done the cultural center? Who here knows what the cultural center is? This is new. Nobody know? Okay. This is the new process that if you want to charge agents at closings for, let's say, desk fees or any kind of like back end fees. So this is new. This has only been since the very end of last year. And they're calling it a cultural center because for the most part, it's people who do have branch offices who are sort of charging something and it has to be out of a closing, right? You can charge anyone anything, and it can be escalating. It can be the same amount. It can be that you charge them 5 times and then never again once they meet a certain amount, whatever it is. But eXp will take care of it. You file a it's kind of like a mini contract that says whatever it is, and eXp will take it out of one agent's check and put it into another agent's check for you. So this is fairly new, but it's pretty incredible because before it was like agents were having to do it on their own inside of like accepting personal checks and things, and now it can be taken directly out of someone's closing and put into another agent's check. So this is pretty amazing for folks who are like perhaps renting office space to agents who are not just on their team. So we have some agents who have big offices and maybe they're opening it to their organization or people who aren't in their organization but are in their market. So something to consider. We're talking to an agent who has a fairly large space. He's a team with another brokerage right now. And he's like, well, what am I going to do with all this? What am I going to do with all this space if I leave my brokerage and I've got, he owns it. And he's like, currently the other brokerage is paying his mortgage. And I said, great, we have a great opportunity for that. Like you can charge desk fees for anybody who wants to come into the market. And he's actually in a great market with a lot of eXp agents. So it was a good opportunity for him. Okay.
Selena, what do you find people are charging for those? Because we've got a gal local that owns a huge commercial building, and she has a eXp approved office space there in that building, and she wanted to, because like there's folks down in the Santa Maria area that have agents up here, and then we have some down there, and they're wanting to do that. So what do you see as a standard fee if they're not in your organization to charge per
It
month?
varies. It depends if it's a desk, if it's a cubicle, if it's an office, that sort of thing. I mean, we've seen everything from 195 for like a floating desk situation to 495 for an actual office, right? So it just really, and it depends on the market. I mean, and we just tell people to like take a peek and see what's happening inside their market space. And then some people have like really, really nice offices in some areas. So it's going to really depend. Like if it's a floating desk, like, it's, like bullpen environment, it's usually pretty low because it's like you can come in and just pick whatever's open. But if it's like a dedicated space, it tends to be a little bit higher. Yeah, I hope that helped. Yeah. I'm continuing to build on commercial right now. Like there's not as much. I added this morning actually because I was on with someone who wants to convert to commercial yesterday. Top reasons why. This one actually breaks down all of the fees and everything. And I'll be adding this onto our website as well at empirebuilders.pro because we have some information there, but I felt like we needed to add a little bit more because the cap is different. I hope you guys are all aware of that. The cap is different for a commercial agent. The monthly fees are different for a commercial agent. The broker review fee is different. Everything is quite different, and he was not aware of that. So make sure that if you're talking to somebody that wants commercial versus residential, that they are aware it's a significant change. Okay, he was not. He was he was like, "Whoa, he was only wanting to do like 2 or 3 commercial deals a year," and we realized that that was not, a good idea for him, given that it was a very significant change. Um, so keep that in mind. If you ever need to know more about commercial, please reach out to me. I'm happy to go through that. Same thing on referral, right? If somebody wants to switch to referral, it's only $50 a month, guys, instead of 85, right? So, and that's very easy to switch from regular residential to referral. Luxury, same thing. There's an eXp luxury explained. Make sure that you're kind of keeping track of that. Everyone knows it's $2,500 a year, right? To join luxury. Okay. And then co-sponsorship, I continue to add information about this. Was everybody here on when Casey went over co-sponsor? Yeah, I think you guys were, right? That was our last builders call. She went over co-sponsorship. For anybody who missed it, go watch the replay and the builders call from last time. That was really, really good. And then other, I'm always kind of adding different things in here. I'm always adding fast cap, right? We all know about fast cap. I'm not sure if we mentioned it on the last one. They are coming up with fast attract, which will be a class for agent attraction. Similar concept to fast cap. I am definitely signing up for that thing. So keep your eyes open. We heard about it a while back, and I don't think they've released the dates yet, but we're keeping have they, Kim? Have they released it? Do we know when?
Yeah, I think it's the 8th, June
8th?
8th. And
Okay.
there's in the Alpha Beta group in Workplace, there's links to the sign up too.
Oh, okay. I will log on as Casey.
Is it 18th? Thanks, Claire. Yeah.
June 18th. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I will go snag that. Okay, good. And then, like I said, sometimes people ask me for different things, and when I go and find it, I just pop it in here because I like once I have something that I go look for somebody, I just add it in. So like someone will ask me the specifics about becoming an icon agent. I add in things like I put in the newsletter, buyer toolkit, seller toolkit. These are also things that I send to potential recruits. They don't require a login to go see them. So if I'm talking to a recruit and I'm like, hey, they're like, oh, I wish there was something I could learn a little bit more about, listing presentation and buyer presentation. These do not require a login to view. This is giving them just a little teensy weensy view into what's available to them if they become an eXp agent. Okay. Drop little things like this. If you're talking to somebody who's thinking about maybe coming over and they just need a little view of what it looks like to be here, and then you're giving them something of value for free, right? Especially if this is a fairly newer agent that hasn't really gotten started or doesn't have a lot from wherever they are right now. And you're like, hey, take this for free. take a peek. It's got scripts in there in the toolkits. It's got a sample presentation. There's a lot of information in there. So I kind of hang on to these things, right? This comes up a lot. People who are in multiple MLSs. So I save it on here. There's just, like I said, you're going to see all kinds of stuff in here. Sky slope training, seller shield, utility connect, different things that I save over time. How to add a TC or admin into your SkySlope account. Thank you, Debbie Pelham. Actually, you showed me how to do that way back when, and I saved it. People who ask me how to change their eXp email alias. These are great calls, by the way, for if you're recruiting. These are the ones that Casey and I save and send to recruits. They're the ones that we've really loved from our free Friday coaching calls. I need to add a couple more in because I've started saving them and sending them out. And anytime that we're having a great call with a recruit, we're like, oh, you want to know more about open houses? Boom, here you go, right? And we just save them in here and we text them out. Like, we were thinking about you today. You should watch this call. And then I keep all important email contacts over here. Again, people ask me all the time, I'm having a problem with accounting. I'm having a problem with my icon award. I actually had that come up. Somebody had not gotten their awards yet for part of it. And I keep all of these crazy emails for everything. Okay, I threw a lot at you. Questions, thoughts, let's go. Now that you all have a million things that you have to review and look at.
Does anyone really use the utility connect? It seemed like it might be like spammy for
No,
the.
we do. We've actually used it quite a bit on our team. We've had buyers use it for sure.
I've used it.
And they don't get spammed and they actually are helpful.
Not all of them are using it, but we've definitely had users use it, buyers use it. I think it's worth a shot, right? I'm going through my chat here to make sure I haven't missed anything. All right, we've got 30 more minutes. Who's got something? Talk to me. Did anybody get anything that they didn't have before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No? Who has something I didn't have? Because I love adding new things.
So if you can't get to that thing, I think it's called Stacy, are you still on here? Like, and maybe Kim knows. It's assets.exp.com or something like that brings you to that Canva thing. Brent Gove bought that, right? So if you if you can't get into a Trello board and you just want to send that link to people, I think that's what it is. Let me try it.
What's it called?
Assets. Yeah, assets@exp.com.
Assets at.
Yeah, this doesn't look as cool though.
And
I'm not getting it.
I'm not getting that either.
No, like assets@exp.
Yeah.
Assets
Yeah.
exp.com. You got it?
Hang on, I'm gonna try again. Oh, there it goes. Oh, he took the Canva document and turned it into the other.
Yeah, I don't like it that way as well. It used to show like the Canva doc, but
Gotcha. Yeah, the Canva one is operated by eXp. That's the only reason I keep that one, so that if they change a link, I'm covered. I'm like, since they're so good at changing links all the time. All the time. Well, the main reason I wanted to go over this was just that I want to make sure that everyone understands that there are I mean, I get it. There are like a million tools and resources out there, right? And sometimes it can be so overwhelming, which is why I told Casey what I wanted to name this call today was that, it was like a tool belt. Like, do you know what's in your tool belt? And I was going to like have ChatGPT have a picture of me with a little tool belt on, but she didn't think that was, I thought it was funny. But I said, it's just, there's a lot, right? There's a lot when we're talking to recruits. And so I always, anytime I'm on with a recruit, I have my Trello board open so that in that moment, anything that they ask me, hopefully I can have that ready, right? And sometimes I don't. And I just tell them, I'm like, you know what? I'll look into that. And then I go and I find it, and then I add it to the Trello board afterwards if I don't know where it is, right? Because I try to know all the things, but in reality, There's so much available to us. There's just so much. And then anytime, like I said, I went into that growth and attraction toolkit, and then I actually go in and extract some of the things in there out and put them in as their own separate thing because they're so buried in it. And I want it to be out so that I can get to it faster, because it's so buried, right? And there's a lot. There's a lot that we're given that maybe isn't always highlighted in a way that corporate is assuming that we're going and reading every single little thing. And it's hard to get and absorb all of it. And I don't want to ask everybody to go and absorb all of it, right? Leo Parejo was on with a whole bunch of people that we just brought on board in the last month or so. He was on a call the other day and somebody asked something and he goes, well, we sent all of that out in email. And I was like, I just love that you think everybody reads your emails. I was like, that's cute. I was like, I mean, I do. I read them all because then I take those emails and I compile it and I put it in our newsletter, right? I try to pull what I think is the most important stuff out, and then I put it in our newsletter in the hopes that then it's a secondary way, right, of getting it in front of you on what I think is the most important part, because there's just so much to consume and absorb, right? And then so I have to take into account that if I feel that way, I read a lot, then everyone's feeling that way. So
Mhm.
and then I take everything that I see in there as I think as a tool, and then I put it into the Trello board, and I'm like, okay, how can I get this out to our leaders and to our builders in a way that again is going to get it in front of them in the best possible way so they know it's available to them, right? It's a lot. It's just a lot of information. And it's like, okay, I'm just like, and then we have these calls. And so we put it in front of you in this way. And then maybe we have our leadership call once a month in the evening, and I try to get it in front of you that way. But in reality, it's, we just do the best we can with what we have. And then in the hopes that if you just raise your hand, if you're looking for something and we can't find it. And, I raise my hand all the time. Who here, is anybody here? Who here is an alpha? Do we have an alpha or a beta? Yeah, Kim, right? Yeah. Do you have, I call them alpha elves. Do you have the helpers in your,
No, but I remember at the retreat at Casey's, she talked about that and she was texting
yeah.
you and she's like, "Oh, I have the elf hotline." And I'm like, "I need one of those."
So when you become an alpha in the company, you get these helpers, these dedicated group in your workplace chat, and I lovingly call ours the alpha elves. And it's just a group of people that if you ask them questions, they jump right on it in your workplace chat. And that's the only thing I know to call them because I just love them and they're amazing. And that's me. That's my Selena, right? Like I go in there and I'm like, help, I can't find something, right? And I'm like, and they help me, and then I go and I add it into the Trello board. I'm like, I've looked everywhere, I don't know what to find it, and somebody's asked me this question and I really need to help somebody right now, and I call them the alpha elves. And I just love them and they're amazing, and I love it when I go to EXPCon because I usually get to meet them in person, right? And I just, oh my goodness, Darius, who is that little ray of sunshine? um you can't bring a baby onto the call and not talk about it. uh like,
Sorry, didn't mean to disrupt. She was getting
no,
fussy.
goodness, who is this?
This is my 4-month-old daughter.
What's her name?
Emma Jane.
Hi, Emma Jane. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No,
Didn't
don't
mean to
be.
Oh,
disrupt.
she's
Welcome,
adorable.
welcome to EXP, Emma Jane.
Eh,
She's gonna be a realtor. Like all my kids have worked for me at one point, so she's in.
Daddy's rev share is willable, girl.
Yeah, that's right, Emma Jane. So anyway, it's those kinds of things that I want you guys to be thinking about is, who was I talking to the other day? Oh, it was Autumn. It's Jesse's me, right? And I was sharing the Trello board, and she said, oh my God, she said, I've been keeping all of this on a spreadsheet, and she's like, it's really hard. Yeah, Debbie too. And she's like, it's really hard to get to sometimes and be able to share things. And I said, and she was like blown away. And I said, well, that was what I was doing, right? Or it was like I had a million bookmarks, right? And then sometimes you can't quite see what it is that you're looking for. And I said, well, that was the beauty of the Trello board. And it was just something that I happened to see. I was on a TikTok and someone was showing how they were saving their links that way and how it was so much more visual. But really what sold it for me was that I could get to it on my phone, right? Because Casey will ask me, she'll say, well, where's that thing, you know, that we shared with somebody? And I could be at lunch or dinner or anywhere, and I can pull up the Trello board and click on it and immediately forward it to her. And now I've taught her to actually do it herself on Trello. You know, so it's like you can do it from anywhere and share it with anyone. And now, as you guys are building and creating attractors yourself, right? You can now share this same board with those people, right? So eventually, initially, I was only sharing this with a few people, and I was like, oh, I don't know if anybody will ever use it. And now everyone who sees it has started sharing it, and it's growing and growing. And my hope is that it continues to help more and more people realize how much is available to us to help people understand this is not just about growing, right? There's so much in there that's teaching people about what's available to them for lead generation and, you know, getting in there and seeing what's available for training and like what eXp has to offer. Someone said that the other day. It was very interesting. Casey and I, we were on like our third call with an agent, and she's an independent agent. She's not doing a ton of transactions, but she emailed us back and she said, you know, I just don't think this is for me. I just don't think they offer enough training. And I was like, we we had 3 calls where we went through like everything. And I was like, and Casey was like, okay, well, she, you know, we're not for her. I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta call her back. Like, okay, I'm just gonna need an explanation. Like, because there's so much, right? Between what's EXP, what Empire Builders Pro has, like I went through like how much we have over 200 and something hours just in YouTube, right? And I'm going back through everything, and I said, I'm just gonna need and she was not willing to explain what she meant by that, right? And I was like, okay, so you know, obviously it's a different reason, right, at that point. But very interesting to see when we have what we have, right? There's just so much there. So what I want you to take away from all of that is also, if you find something that you feel would be very important for me to put in that toolkit, please message me, because you are only an observer, you can't add. But if you see something and you say, Selena, I really think this needs to be on the Trello board, please absolutely email it or text me, and I will add it in. And everyone who's watching it will get that notification that something new has been added, because there's always something, right? We're always adding something.
I'm
Um,
excited to see the land and ranch because I'm getting
yeah,
ready to sign up for that.
yeah.
Do you know, like I know on the luxury side, you can actually have people join your team and then it's only half price?
I think it's going to be something similar.
Do you know if they've implemented that yet?
Uh, I should know probably later today, because the person that we're working on onboarding, the brokerage, is joining. And I'm in conversation with them right now. So I should probably know later today.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes peeled.
And I asked Jesse to find that out. Kim, he's in Dallas
Did
right
you?
now.
Oh, good. He probably
Yeah.
did at the
Yeah.
meeting, the meeting that happened before the meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, do we have in here, because I apparently told our brokers and our growth leader about no busters because I was mad about something. So I went to no busters. So I don't know if everyone knows about that, but I actually have a phone number for them, and they busted my no. So
That is on, oh my gosh, is that on Enterprise? Hang on.
I don't know. I just heard about it probably from Jesse, and
Or Okta. Hang on. 1 second. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. You ever feel like your brain is so full, like stuff starts to leak out the other side? That's where I'm like, let's see. I felt like that's where I saw it, but I'm on there now and I don't see it. I'm just looking. I will find out. I really felt like that's where I saw it. Do you know that there's a Chat GPT agent course inside of Okta, your Okta login?
No.
Yeah. Here, hang on. Let me make this bigger. Right here. eXp Global Chat GPT agent course.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't know that we had access to this either. This Success Plus. You can
The,
go in. You can
is
go
that the
in.
magazine?
Yeah, but it's also like a there's like daily motivation. I signed up for it last month. I'm on Casey's right now, but so I won't sign her up for it because she might not want it. But you can go in here. But I could have sworn I saw the No Busters in there. But yeah, there's like a Chat GPT agent course in here for anybody who's interested. There's the Utility Connect for anybody who isn't aware. You sign up for that your buyers and sellers, you can put them in there, and it actually is good. You earn a little bit of income that way, guys. So just some different things that you can look at in here. They're always adding stuff in. There's so much. That's what I'm saying. It's like hard. I try to take like at least one day a month where I just go in and like explore again, because I mean, when I came 3 years ago, so much of this didn't even exist in here, right? It wasn't here. Like the onboarding experience wasn't like this, nothing like, and Laura and I are onboarding people all the time, and it's just different than whenever I was onboarding. It's a different experience. And so like I was just onboarding somebody the other day and I was like, that's new since like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, so it's good because I'm on there doing it with them and I see that stuff has changed and shifted. Like that's the difference. Like when I onboarded, they asked me if I wanted in the midst of onboarding to have the Morgan Stanley thing to take money out of commission, right? That was part of your onboarding in that moment. Now it's day 6 of going externally and doing it, right? So that's why I think most people don't know. Like Casey's like, no, it's done on onboarding. I'm like, it's not anymore. It's completely not. You have to go and do it separately. So a lot of stuff has shifted and changed. Like yesterday, someone said, oh, you have to go and choose to forward, where you want your eXp email to go to. And I said, no, it's automatic now. Where whatever email you sign up with eXp, it's automatically forwarding your eXp email to that email. Like it's not something you go do. That's happening automatically now. So just remember that just because it was one way when you came in does not mean it's that way now. I would really encourage you to go through that agent checklist in my Trello board and just review everything that's there, because it is likely different than when you came on. So just be sure that whatever you're telling somebody who's onboarding is not different than what it was when you came on, right? It's just everything is sort of shifted. Remember that it used to be stock was 10% a discount. Now it's only 5% discount. Oh, yeah, Debbie. It's only a 5% discount. You can buy 5% take 5% of your commission, and it's a 5% discount. So these are things that's just really important to know as things shift and change so that we're communicating everything correctly. So I know it's like constantly in college, right? You're just constantly learning. So anytime you guys ever have a question, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. This is the stuff I'm just always intaking. And it's like I'm always just making sure that I know. So if you ever feel like there's a question, just text me, call me, it doesn't matter. That's my job, is to know. Like it's literally what I do. So oh yes, of course I'm okay giving you my number. Hang on. Somebody just asked if that's okay. I'm going to put it in here. I have 2 numbers. I have a California number, but this is I have both. They both ring to the same thing. This is my number since the dawn of time. So this is my personal number. You guys save this here. My full name. I'm just going to put it in here. So you have it on my thing. Selena Galanis. And my email is this, guys. And I'm just going to put my Calendly link in here too. I'm going to give you the actual full link. I have multiple kinds of appointments in here. So I'm going to give you the actual full thing because, hang on one second. It'll let you book everything from a 15-minute conversation to an hour long, depending on what you feel like you need. So save that wherever you need it. And if you've ever gotten an email from me ever, in my signature line at the bottom, that same link is there. So you can click that same link and just say book a meeting, and it'll let you book anything from 15 minutes to a full hour. If you honestly, if you have any questions about anything that has anything to do with eXp, agent attraction, operations, systems, processes, coaching. This is my 29th year, actually. Yeah, 29 years in real estate. Like this year. Been doing this forever. I haven't quit yet. I haven't quit yet. I know I said that again the other day. Somebody said, "What did you do before real estate?" I said, "High school." Like that's what I did. I did high school before this. Yeah. So don't ever hesitate to reach out, guys. There's a lot of stuff to know, right? But there's also a lot of tools. There's also a lot of tools. There's a lot of things. And I think it can be very overwhelming. What I would encourage you to know is that when you're talking to a recruit, don't overwhelm them with all of it. It's so important in the very beginning to just figure out what it is that they are missing wherever they are. You know, so when we're talking to them, it's usually one of a few things: training, support, and what that means is being heard, right? Or feeling a part of something, or it's the money, right? And they're coming for the cap. Okay? It's usually just those things. That's it. So when someone says it's training, we immediately pull them over to fast cap. Right? And I always have eXp University pulled up as one of the tabs on my computer. And I always know the next dates, because we use that as a recruiting tool to tell them, great, here's the next couple of dates coming up. Go ahead, Debbie. You look like you want to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, I did the pilot program of FastCap, and I wasn't able at the time to do all of the tasks and fully participate. I was on all the calls, but I didn't do all the things. And I'm in it now. It just started on the 7th, and I'm doing all the things, or I'm trying to do all the things. And man, it is making such a huge difference. I needed the restart in my business, and it's just grounding you right back to basics. So for new agents, it is amazing to get them to develop new habits. If you guys haven't been on it and don't know about it, it's amazing for new agents to get them to do new habits. I think it should be required as part of the mentor program. I really do, because it's going to teach them exactly what to do to prospect, how to lead generate, because so many people are so dependent on buying leads, and you don't have to. And so that goes through all that. The guest speakers are amazing, amazing, highly productive agents in our business, in our company. And like Dustin Runyon was on last Friday. He was phenomenal, like phenomenal. And it's really encouraging and inspiring, and it gets you motivated and makes you want to do better. So I'm super excited to do Fast Attract, because I'm kind of needing that. I had the little kick in my butt when we went to the retreat, and I'm staying on that little floating little cloud that I'm on, but I need like the full, get me really going and dialed in and accountable, and tell me everything I need to do. And that's what it does.
Love it.
Just
Love it. Thank you for that. Yeah, so I would say just know that it's all there. Keep it open. Like I just have that as a tab open. My Trello board's always open because I use Trello for a bunch of things, right? But know that it's there. And if you're on with a recruit, or like, don't share that with a recruit, guys. Don't ever share that Trello board with a recruit, right? It's too much information. But take it and know that you have it available, so that if you have something that you want to share with them, or you want to share it on the screen with them in that moment, that you have it available to you. And then if you have like I showed those YouTube videos, you could click on that link and you can share that with them and say, hey, here's a great video on open houses. We use those things as opportunities to, again, you're giving them things freely to pull them in and show them the kind of community that they can come into. Those are the kinds of tools and resources that I want you to use for that. Okay. So just remember that there's a lot out there that we want them to be a part of it, and to know that there's so much for them, and not be like, again, we never want to EXP all over anybody, right? But we want to make sure that there's something for everybody. That's the goal. Okay. All righty. I hope everybody got a lot out of today. I hope I didn't EXP all over you. I just Stacy's like, I miss Casey today. I hope she's well, actually she should be on her next flight to Spain now. She landed in Paris a little while ago, so let's all wish her a happy and safe flight the rest of the way and a good trip in Spain this week. And we will all welcome her back next week when she's back. Okay. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate you so much. Bye.